Okay, hello. Welcome to Beach View, our podcast where we talk about things and stuff.
And today we're doing another album, the third in our album month.
That's right.
And this time we're doing Linkin Park's 1,000 Suns from 2010.
2010, so long ago. Yeah, I like revisiting the older albums, and I guess for me this really wasn't a revisit because I think I read some articles said that this was like one of their lost albums, and that was absolutely true for me. I do not remember this album, and thinking back to 2010, it was like a year that I was like really doing a lot of stuff, so I think I just totally skipped this album. Which you were right about. You had mentioned you may not know this album, and you're absolutely right. I thought I had listened to all of the Linkin Park albums, but this one apparently was a lost album for me.
Yeah, this was post their height of fame. They still had a few singles that would show up in movies and for advertising and stuff, and a few of them I think cracked radio play, but their last album, Minutes to Midnight, was their last big one in their career.
Yeah, and I remember that one well. I definitely, I had that album, and this one, I just didn't have it, and I thought, I knew all of the Linkin Park stuff, but, yeah, so this was a nice, surprise for me, because I was I'm sure I'm gonna remember it once I start listening, and a couple of them did sound, vaguely familiar, but really, it was like listening to the whole album for the first time, so that was a nice little surprise for me.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so for me, this album's really a land of contrasts. I think more so than any of their other albums, this is really, going for something. It has a lot of, themes it's trying to go for. There's recurring musical motifs and repeating lyrics.
Yes.
It has several, interludes / intros to songs.
Yes.
Got, quotes and references. I feel like it's really trying to go for something.
Yeah.
And I don't think it works at all.
You don't? That's so
No.
funny. Okay, because I only read a couple of little things about it, when I was, getting ready to listen to it. After I listened to it, I read a couple of little things, and both of the articles I read were yes, this works, So, that's funny that you say that. I guess my overall opinion of it was, I will say, at first, I was this is not the Linkin Park that I know and love. But, in keeping their changing sound in mind, I knew that this was going to be a different sound because they have evolved in their sound over the years, So notwithstanding that, this really was just a totally out there kind of thing for me. But after kind of listening to it, I do think it was I guess in the evolution of their music, to me it worked. Is this something I'm going to have a bunch of songs on my playlist to listen to over and over? No, definitely not. But as far as you said with the themes, the, I think political meanings behind some of the stuff, the feelings that they convey, that kind of thing. I do think for them, it's definitely a step more in that direction, I guess you would say. So, I think overall it was different for me, but I thought it worked.
Okay.
Yeah.
And on top of that for me, I don't think the themes and stuff work. This is also very up and down for me. Each song is some of these songs I think are really good. I think some of them are their best work, period.
Yeah.
And some of them I think are just not very good at all.
Yeah.
So, it's a very strange album to me.
Oh, it definitely was strange. Which I think sometimes, another flavor is good to kind of cleanse your palate of, of the normal kind of stuff, from them. But I not my favorite album, but definitely an interesting one, I will say.
Yeah, I can agree with that. It's definitely interesting, if nothing else.
Yeah, and I really do like when bands explore and kind of try new things. So I liked that about it. Does it work for me? Absolutely no. But it's kind of cool to like see their range, I guess, but it's just it's kind of like you said, some of the songs are hit or miss.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you ready to get into it? Let's go track by track.
Yeah. So I wanted to do the first two together.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
The Requiem and the Radiance.
Yes.
So 2 intro songs.
So these are short.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to do them together. They're both like introductory songs. They're not like really songs in their own right.
Yeah, they're short little pieces. I kind of liked how they put them both together at the front, and they kind of blended into each other.
Yes.
I don't really have an opinion either way on these songs. I mean, I thought they were, nice. But that's about all I had to say about those. What did you think?
So, yeah, the lyrics in the Requiem later appear in the Catalyst, and the Radiance has a quote from J. Robert Oppenheimer, who worked on the atomic bomb. The title of the album, A Thousand Suns, is also from an Oppenheimer quote describing the atomic bomb. So we're already hitting on some of the themes for this. There's also some like musical motifs in this that come back later.
Yeah, definitely. I did feel like it kind of set the tone for the album. So in putting those 2 intros, I mean, I thought, it was a good lead in. And definitely right off the bat, you're hitting the, the kind of political nature of it and a reference to the title of the album. And there's also other references throughout the album from that. So I thought it was good lead-ins. And I kind of liked overall in the album how there were some of these short, interludes. I thought it just kind of made it more interesting.
Yeah, so I will say I do like these 2 songs. I think they're like good build up. They build like tension. They're very like dramatic songs, I feel like. However, leading into the next song, Burning in the Skies, yeah.
Okay. So this one was like a softer melody than what you're used to from Linkin Park, I think. But it still had like that kind of emo, like feelings of regret, self-loathing. So you saw a little bit of the old Linkin Park, but it was definitely like much softer than you were used to,
Well, I mean, this feels like it could have came from Minutes to Midnight.
I thought the same thing. And everything I heard about Minutes to Midnight, like a lot of people who were like huge Linkin Park fans didn't like that softer sound. So that's why I say it's different than what fans were used to from Linkin Park, but it did fit right in with like the Minutes to Midnight kind of softer sounds.
Yeah, but what'd you think of this song coming off the other 2?
I thought it was a little like I don't know, I liked it in a way because when you hear the intros, you're thinking like, oh, we're about to get into it,
Yeah,
But then this like soft song comes up. So it's a little kind of, it took me aback a little bit because I'm like, oh, I thought we were getting into some more hardcore like political stuff or like rage kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it was super soft. So I thought that was kind of an interesting pick.
Yeah, well, I think that doesn't work. This is like, point number 1 for me for why this doesn't work as an album is that you have this tense build-up.
Yes.
That feels like it's working with some pretty loaded imagery in the atomic bomb.
Yeah.
Musically very, like, strong. And then it moves into this very soft song.
Yeah.
That lyrically isn't... It's really vague lyrically. Like, I guess you have, I feel the dead wood to make the fire rise, the blood of innocence burning in the skies. Like, that's kind of, charged, but the rest of it's very vague, and it's kind of about regret.
Yeah.
And it's not, like, political in any way. It doesn't follow up from the Oppenheimer quote.
Yeah, that's kind of why I said it's kind of more emo. Like, it's definitely, like, an In My Feelings kind of song. Like, it's more like, that... And we've heard that before from Linkin Park, that kind of, like, regret, self-loathing, like I said. But it's definitely took a turn from the first 2, introductory songs. So I didn't think it was a bad song, but in terms of, where it is. Like, and like you said, the tense introduction, because those songs, like the music is tense. Like it builds up and you think you're getting into like something and it totally took a turn.
Yeah, and I agree. I like the song, but I don't think it works coming right after the two build-up songs.
Yeah, I wasn't opposed to it though. Like I wasn't
Mm.
opposed to like softer, because it was just a surprise, I guess. Which I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one, Empty Spaces.
Yep, that's another interlude.
Another
Short
interlude. I
song.
like this one. Yeah, like and this was like the title of it I thought was good because it's definitely like sounds that you would hear in the background with these crickets, and it kind of has like the vague sounds of something at the end that sounds like I guess bombing or something at the end.
Yeah.
So that kind of gets back to the kind of theme from the first two intros.
Mm-hmm. And then next, When They Come For Me.
When They Come For Me. So this song, the song itself had a long intro, which I thought was interesting. It was almost a minute into the song.
Yeah.
That all you hearing is music. And then you have this kind of tribal sound with like the drum beat. You have some chant-like vocals, references to past rap, hip-hop artists.
Yeah.
I thought, like, I like the references. I always like when artists pay homage to past influences, but I did think, like, lyrically, it wasn't like their best,
Oh, okay.
But I liked it. I mean, I liked it. It just was, I don't know. It was a good song, but just kind of like, to me.
Okay.
What'd you think?
Yeah, I like this song. I think it has a great beat.
Yeah.
And I really like I'm not sure if that's like a guitar or a synth sound, but it's got that really, like, in the intro, the really heavy, like, sound.
Yeah.
And, I mean, like, I don't listen to a ton of hip-hop, so I'm not really qualified to say, but I think Mike Shinoda's flow on this song's really good.
Yeah, I like I will give you that. His flow's really good.
Yeah, and I like the parts where Chester Bennington's singing, the, like, chorus and outro and that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's a decent song.
Yeah, I think it's a decent one too. And like I said, not my super favorite from them, but it's a decent song. And it kind of shows them kind of experimenting, like with the drum beat, the vocals. It's just kind of got like a different sound.
Yeah.
And so that's always a good thing. Like, I think they really explored their range on this album, and this kind of shows it.
Yeah, I think this is more of a hip-hop song, like just a pure hip-hop song, and then some of the other stuff, which is working in a lot more rap rock space.
Absolutely. And that's kind of like what you're more used to from them, but also with the new sounds, like the different sounds of the music. And I think like it kind of works together. Like they're kind of older rap hip hop like roots plus trying new things, I think is good. And like I said, I really did like the references to the past artist because, you're like, oh yeah, Lauren, Biggie, all those, so it's kind of cool. But yeah, that's pretty good.
Did you catch the reference to one of their past songs?
No, I don't think I did. What was it?
Yeah, so there's a line that's, I am not the fortune and the fame or the same person telling you to forfeit the game, and the line forfeit the game is a reference to Points of Authority, which is on Hybrid Theory.
Oh, nice. I did not catch that.
Yeah.
Very nice. I like references like that, so.
Yeah, well. Next song, then?
All right, Robot Boy.
Yes.
So, this to me kind of was getting into, like, toxic masculinity, and I think this was, like, a suicide reference, like, the weight of the world will give you strength to go. Did you get that?
I don't think this song is about anything, honestly.
Okay. Okay. So I got some different tones from it than you. Okay.
Like, to me, it's just sort of a vague, like, stuff's hard sometimes. But,
yeah.
You can still get the strength to go on. I don't know.
Okay, so I was like, that's why I was questioning, because I was like, wait, are they saying, like, give you the strength to go, like, meaning, like, to leave or to go on?
Yeah,
that was the question mark for me.
Maybe? Like,
I don't know. I mean, I guess it's whatever you take from it. But as far as when I say like the toxic masculinity, where they're saying like, that you shouldn't basically like that you shouldn't show this. You know what I mean?
yeah, and do you think compassion's a flaw and you'll never let it show?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. And I felt like they were like calling that out, and it's hard to live in a world where society is like that. So that's kind of where I got the like, the weight of the world will give you the strength to go. That was a question mark for me.
Yeah. This feels too inspirational musically for me
Yeah.
to want to go with a reading like that,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're right. But, it definitely makes you think. So
I think the lyrics, though, are vague in a bad way, honestly, on this song.
I kind of felt the same way. And I guess that's why, like, it makes you think, like, is this what they meant? Or did they mean this?
Yeah, and I think there are definitely, writers who can make that a strength. I think Linkin Park, on previous albums, we talked about this on Hybrid Theory, can make a sort of vaguer sense of writing a strength. I don't think they did that here.
Yeah, I would agree with you there.
And also, I think this is just boring. Like, I don't like it's too slow for me.
Yeah.
I don't like the piano melody, which is just, ugh.
Yeah.
And I think the vocal effects on this song are bad. Like,
Yeah.
Maybe it's the vocal effects with the tempo. I don't know. I don't like this song.
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite either. I wouldn't say I don't like it, but I was just kind of like, I could take it or leave it, so it was okay. I mean, Next.
Yes, Jornada del Muerto, which is another one of those, like, interlude/intro songs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I thought this was an interesting one because it's a short song. The name is, what I believe is Spanish, right?
Yes,
Okay.
It's the name of the desert that the first atomic bomb tests were performed.
I did not know that. And then the lyrics, okay, on my, like what I was looking at it on was like an Asian writing.
It's Japanese.
Okay, I couldn't tell which language it was, but I was like, that's so interesting. So that's the name of the desert. Okay.
Yeah, and it's in Japanese. It, from what I looked up, means lift me up, let me go, which later appears in the Catalyst.
Okay.
This also has music repeat from the little musical motif in this one is one of the same ones from the intro at the beginning.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Nice. So what did you think of it?
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's a little like interlude.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I liked it. I mean, look, show your creativity. That's basically what they did in this one. So
yeah. So next,
waiting for the end.
Yes.
So to me, this like chorus had like a reggae feel.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Kind of somber lyrics, but with a more like upbeat rhythm, This also to me sounded kind of like a suicidal kind of theme, I guess. But I liked it better toward the end where the vocals get like, I guess, more urgent and like less melodic. Like toward the end of it, it kind of like had a little bit more like power in the vocals for me.
Yeah, this is also built around that piano motif from Jornada del Muerto in the beginning. So it's a little bit of like tie-in with the whole album. And I think this is one of the best songs they've ever done. I really like this song.
Yeah, I thought it was good. And it was layered to me. Like it had all these different aspects to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked it. I wouldn't say it's my favorite song from them, but
Okay.
I thought it was good. I thought it showed their range. It showed a lot of different, like I said, layers. And that's always, I thought it was just super creative. I liked it.
Yeah. Because to me, this one, I think, like you said, it is kind of darker lyrically.
Mm-hmm.
And like contrasting this from Robot Boy, which this is on the vaguer end. It's kind of about like moving on, but I think the imagery here is really good. Like, we say yeah with fists flying up in the air like we're holding on to something that's invisible there. Like, I think that's just like a really cool way of framing that feeling.
I like that.
And the chorus is and like the repeated motif at the end of holding on to what I haven't got.
Yeah, I thought it's like very poetic, and that to me is something that they're good at. And just kind of evocative of those feelings. And I thought the reggae kind of feel was kind of cool. Like that's something I did not expect.
Yeah, and I think this is just like a really emotional song. I think both Chester and Mike's vocal performances are really good, and I really like the electronics in this. It's a
Mm-hmm.
really cool timbre to me.
Yeah, I like that too. I thought it was good. Yeah, super interesting song to me. Like intricate, like
Mm-hmm.
just I felt like they put their all into this song. Like all of their ability is in this song.
Yep.
Yep.
So next.
Next, Blackout.
Yep.
So this is I think more of the sound that you're used to, like their older school sound. I thought it was a good song. The good vocals. I thought it had like complex music, so I like this song.
Yeah, me too. I really like this song. This is another one of I don't know if I'd call this one of my favorites from them, but I like this song and I really like this sort of tone, which I'm not sure exactly is their old sound because it's this like poppy piano sort of thing instead of like a rock song.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I just thought like I don't know, to me it felt more like what you're used to from them, you know?
I mean, definitely Chester's singing is.
Yeah,
He's got that
yeah.
very aggressive vocal performance.
Yes. But definitely like you said the piano, which I liked the piano throughout the whole album. I thought it was kind of
Yeah, yeah.
cool, you know. But yeah, I definitely like this song.
Yeah, and I like the song structure here, where I like the first half's this more aggressive thing, and then it kind of mellows out towards the end,
Yes.
and has Mike Shinoda singing, which I think is good
Yeah,
anytime
you
he does
normally
that.
don't. Yeah, exactly. You get to see his range. And one thing I definitely think that Linkin Park has the talent for, like I said, the complex music. Like they don't just have like simple instrumental sounds. Like they definitely like layer the music, like just use all kinds of things to make what I would call like a complex sound. Like it, and meaning like it's not just like very simple sounds there. I don't know if I'm describing this like technically correct, but to me that's what like I think they're very good at, just like laying like an intricate base like to put their vocals on, you know?
Alright, well, next.
Wretches and Kings. So this is another one of their like anarchy, like Rage Against the Machine kind of like, catchy beat. I thought this was like the theme of it was definitely like, kind of power to the people, like let's overthrow a government kind of thing.
I don't know, like, vaguely. I don't
What?
think
It's
there's
like
enough meat on the
I feel
bones
like it's
here.
like no, I feel like it's like class distinction, like wretches and kings. It's like the wretches rising up to the kings. Like you didn't get that one?
Yeah, but that's so vague.
I got it there. Like I was like, okay, cool,
No,
yeah, this is
I think say something if you're gonna say something. Otherwise, you're just like,
yeah.
I don't know.
I see what you're saying.
I don't think lyrically this works for me.
Lyrically and vocally, it's definitely not my favorite from them.
No.
But I definitely got the anarchy, like that came through to me.
Well, I think that's what they're going for. I don't think they did a very good job of it.
Yeah, I can see
But
that.
like you said, Rage Against the Machine, this definitely sounds like a Rage Against the Machine song, like their take on it, or like I read this was them trying to do like a Public Enemy homage. So
Yes. Yeah, which they had, another reference. What was it? When They Come for Me? Wasn't there a reference in that song too?
I believe so.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of a cool thing, but like I said, not my favorite.
This has another quote in it from a speech from Mario Savio,
Mm-hmm.
who was a member of the Berkeley Free Speech movement in the 60s. So,
Mm-hmm. Kind of cool. I like when they work in those references.
yeah, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of this song. I don't think it's bad, but it's honestly kind of forgettable.
kind of what I thought too. And just lyrically, it didn't do it for me. But it wasn't, like, terrible.
I do think the ending is good just because I like turntables.
Yes, I thought so too. I like that. I feel like that's always a good sound that Linkin Park has.
Yeah.
You don't hear that in every
They don't
everything.
use it too often, but yeah, when they do, I really like it.
Yeah, definitely. I love an old school turntable sound.
Yeah.
That's its saving grace, I think.
Yeah.
All right.
So next?
Wisdom, justice, and love. So this is definitely like an anti-war declaration that features like a sermon, and I believe it's from Martin Luther King Jr., right?
Yes, it is. Actually, he's listed as the co-writer on this song, I believe.
I didn't realize that. Wow, that's kind of cool.
Which is kind of goofy to me.
I think it's cool. Like, they gave him credit, man. Give credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
I like that. So what'd you think of the song? I don't know. Like, is it even a song? Like, can you call it? I mean, you know?
Like, it's a soft piano track with an excerpt from a Martin Luther King Jr. speech over it.
Yeah.
And then also, Martin Luther King Jr. turns into a transformer.
Right. So, not every day that you hear that, so, you know?
I don't get why you would do that vocal effect at the end. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't get it either, besides they're like, hey, let's do this. This sounds cool, you know? I don't know why they chose to do that, but it didn't bother me. The whole song didn't bother me. I could see this being like, you know, background music, like soundtrack kind of music on some like movie or show, you know? So it has some power to it, but, you know, just kind of not something you get a jam to, obviously.
No, well, I think this is meant to be another interlude, honestly.
Yeah. I agree, which for that purpose, it's fine.
Yeah, but I want to pause for a moment here and get into the, 60s quotes and atomic bombs reference, because this is the last quote in the album.
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
I thought that was, kind of a continuation. Like, I remember, Minutes to Midnight had a lot of war references, and I say, I think that's fine. I think it's, good to have a voice, and it's good to have an opinion, I guess.
What opinion? What opinion is being expressed?
To me, it's anti-war.
Okay,
it's
this is an anti-war speech from Martin Luther King Jr. Is the rest of the album like that?
I think so. I think that there are definitely... I think they just are talking about, the atrocities of war and how it's wrong. That's what I got from it. I definitely got that. But,
okay.
But it kind of varies. The themes of the songs kind of vary. You have some songs that are tense, some songs that are more hopeful, some that are kind of anti-war, some that are talking about their feelings. You know what I mean? So to me, it kind of varied. It, definitely, though, I thought, the theme of anti-war came across.
I don't know.
You have, the bombing reference, in...
multiple points.
Empty spaces. Yeah, multiple points.
There are multiple references to the atomic bomb. The title, the the line of the title, 1,000 Suns, appears in multiple songs.
Mm-hmm. The desert.
Yeah, the reference to the desert in the song title. The Robert Oppenheimer quote. However, I don't think any of it means anything. I don't think it's used to any significant effect. I don't think it's has anything to say about the 60s. I don't think it really carries across an anti-war message very well.
Yeah. I mean, and maybe I was projecting for Minutes to Midnight because...
Yes, that's definitely got an anti-war message. I mean, I don't want to say you're wrong necessarily, just that I don't know, maybe if they're trying to go for that, they should have been more blunt about it, because it's really vague.
I mean... It is vague, but I mean, I kind of got that from it. So I think, I don't think you have to be so blunt. I think you can have that message and be vague. But whether that was the purpose of the whole album, that's a question, I don't think that's the purpose of the whole album, but there's definitely a lot of references. So that's where I got the anti-war message,
Yeah. I mean, I certainly don't think you have to be blunt to have a message, but I think you need to be more substantive than what this is, because to me, this feels like it's using quotes and references the same way a high schooler would in an essay to make it sound smarter rather than adding anything of substance.
Yeah. I mean, I get that too. I definitely get that. Like, because it has the references, but whether it goes either way, only in a couple of songs is it clear, you know? Well, and questionably clear if you're like going, I don't see it, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I got it. I definitely got it. And, I don't know. And like I said, maybe I'm projecting because I know what their stance was on Minutes to Midnight, you know?
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel maybe that's why you came away with a more positive outlook on this as an album than I did.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe I got the theme and I don't know. Interesting though. I love that art in any way can, you know, come out with different meanings depending on who's listening or who's watching, you know?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So next song?
Iridescent. To me, I thought this was a pretty song. Probably my favorite on the album.
Ooh.
Yes, I liked it.
I thought this song. I hate it.
I liked it. It talks about, like, you know, letting go, feelings of desperation. I thought it was, you know, a more kind of more like a hopeful, like, let it go, man, you know? So I liked it. I thought it was nice. I knew you weren't gonna like it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like anything about this song.
I knew you wouldn't. I thought it was pretty.
Yeah, I mean, it's a power ballad, and it's like a style of power ballad that I just cannot stand.
There's one coming up that I definitely got the ballad feel. So, yeah, I don't think you're gonna like that one either.
I think Linkin Park can do power ballads. I feel like Leave Out All the Rest. Like one of their big singles from Minutes to Midnight is a power ballad, and I like that song. I don't like this one at all.
That's funny. See, I liked this one, and I thought it was, like I said, my favorite on the album, so...
Yeah, I mean, like, even aside from the style, which just is... The whole thing is that style, and it is all just... ugh, to me.
Yeah.
Lyrically, I think it is more vague nonsense. That it's like a vague, oh, you know, everything will be okay, I know things are hard right now, but...
Yeah, but I like that. I like that better than, like, the, you know, I don't know, like the references to, like, war and death.
I mean, to me, it's not the message itself, it's the delivery of it. It is such a, like, generic delivery to me. And I think this song is, like, the thesis of the album. Like, this sort of power ballad, this sort of message of, you know, the repeated, like, let it go refrain. And to me, this song is why this album fails as an album, because it's just nothing to me.
Not doing it for you, yeah.
No.
I liked it. We'll have to, you know, just go our separate ways on that one.
Yes, I suppose.
Alright, well.
Next,
Fallout.
Yes, another interlude.
So this had the lyrics from Burning of the Sky?
Yeah, the lyrics are from the chorus of Burning in the Sky.
Yes, with creepy music in the background.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I didn't mind it, but it's kind of one of those things like, okay, cool, moving on, you know?
Yeah. I like this. This is probably my favorite of the interludes.
Yeah, I like the creepy music.
Yeah, I like it's got like an organ.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's an organ or like a synth, but it's got that organish sound that I like, and I think it's a decent build-up for the next song.
Yeah, I think it does build up the next song well. Speaking of, the Catalyst.
Yes.
Definitely hear those church organs in there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought this was a good song.
Yeah, I like this song.
I didn't really have any other notes on it, like just that, you know, good song.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I really did. I was like, okay, cool, I like it.
I think it's got a good beat. I really like the synths in this. Like, I think the timbre's really cool. I like the vocal effects. I think it has a really good energy and, like, atmosphere through that, like, timbre and the sort of, like, effects. I like the lyrics here. I think they're really evocative.
Yeah, I agree. No complaints on this one. I still go back to like I like Iridescent the best, but this was also a good song, and I did appreciate the organs because that's you don't hear that super often in music, especially like this genre of music. So I thought that was good.
I think this is probably the like most outside their normal wheelhouse they get on this album.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I'd like it. It's a good song.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Okay, so the final song on the album, The Messenger. To me, this sounds like an 80s ballad. Like,
oh, really?
Yes.
I could see that,
yeah, and I liked it. I thought I liked that direction that they took. I thought it was like a good message and like of a sad but also hopeful song to me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like this genre, this like yelly acoustic ballad sort of thing.
Yeah, I knew you weren't gonna like this one either.
I don't think this one's a bad song, at least, like compared to Iridescent.
I think it's so funny that you thought that was a bad song. Yeah, I thought this, definitely reminiscent of the 80s, definitely to me, yeah.
Yeah, but it makes sense why you would use this as your ending song, I think.
Yeah, I think so, and I liked the kind of hopefulness it had. I'm always like the optimist. I like nice, rainbows and butterflies. So I like that it had like a hopeful feeling to it at the end of the album.
Yeah, I mean, I think these lyrics suck the same way Iridescent's lyrics suck.
Yeah.
But I will say, Chester Bennington's still a good singer, and I like his singing on this.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I gotta throw out the requisite R.I.P.
Yes, yeah.
So I, definitely want to mention that. But as the album as a whole, what would you even, classify this as? Like, what genre would this be?
Rock or pop. That's pretty easy.
Well, I was trying to place it, and I'm like, I don't even know what you would, call this, because it's not, rock like you would think of rock, I guess.
Yeah, it's got a lot of soft rock stuff, though, like alternative rock stuff. And then some stuff on the poppier side, like, a lot of pop rock stuff, like Iridescent or, Waiting for the End.
Yeah. Okay. So, overall, you thought it didn't work, though?
No, I think, like I keep hitting on, I think that it is a lot of it vague in a bad way. I don't think the, atomic bomb references or the quotes amount to anything.
Yeah.
And they're just used to, sort of make it seem smarter and more important than it is.
I can see that, yeah.
I think it's weird that half the songs are, interludes.
I mean, yeah, you have 15 tracks on here, and I think, 9 of them are actual songs.
Yeah, I feel like if you were gonna do that, you needed to have, 3 more songs and really make this, a big album.
Yeah.
And also, I think a lot of the songs just don't flow well together.
Yeah.
Outside of the interludes exactly, I don't know. It's weird listening to, Waiting for the End into Blackout or, The Catalyst into The Messenger. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I definitely think, and like I said before, I felt like this whole album was kind of, experimental.
Yeah.
And especially with all the interludes, I felt like that was just kind of getting into the music, less vocal, I thought it was just kind of experimenting with their range.
Definitely.
Which, I mean, I think they did a good job of, but as far as an album goes, I think it's definitely a compilation of music, but as far as songs, it fell a little short, but I didn't mind it. I felt like it was a fast listening album,
Yeah, it definitely is.
And I mean, I liked that about it. And I think there are some songs that I would definitely listen to again. But like I said, would I put any of these on my regular playlist? Probably not.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Not even Iridescent?
Maybe. Like I said, usually my playlist that I listen to more regularly is like chill low key, you
Oh, so
know?
you don't put Linkin Park on there to begin with.
No, but like last night I was listening to 2000s alternative. So it just like whenever the mood strikes me, you know? So I would put that on like, 2000s alternative. But it's just not, it wasn't like, to me there wasn't any songs that like I, like you said, Minutes to Midnight, there's some songs on there that like I just sing randomly. You know what I mean? Like that just pop into my head randomly. I don't know that any of these would, you know?
Okay. It's kind of funny how we have like opposite positions on that because you're higher on it as an album and I'm higher on some of the songs than you are on any of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's kind of funny, but I thought it was good. I enjoyed listening to it. I enjoyed hearing this type of sound from them.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though, like I said, we got used to a different sound with Minutes to Midnight, this was still different, in my opinion, with some things that were, reminded you of Minutes to Midnight, some things that reminded you of their older stuff, and just totally new, like with the, the kind of like sermons and the reggae kind of sound. So I think I liked seeing that it was different than any of the other ones.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, like we said at the top, it's definitely interesting, if nothing else. Like, I do appreciate that they went for something, as an album, like, trying to really put something together, even if I don't think it works or is cohesive as an album.
Yes.
And I appreciate that musically they were trying stuff that was outside their normal, like, even 4 Minutes to Midnight, where they did do some different stuff.
Yeah. And I think, like, I've said this often before, I don't like when people put bands into a box and they get aggravated if the band doesn't sound exactly the same all the time. And you hear that a lot with, artists, anybody. You hear like, well, this isn't what we're used to from them. That's, to me, a good thing, even though you might miss the sound, like, it's like, hey, kudos to you for, like, going in a different direction. Like, I feel like this is how artists grow when they experiment with stuff like this. And so that's what I appreciated about this album.
Yeah, well, you and Mike Shinoda both. He says that in When They Come For Me. Because once you got a theory of how the thing works, everybody wants the next thing to be just like the first.
Oh, yeah. See? Look, we're in agreement. Nice.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't like it as an album, but it does have some of my favorite Linkin Park songs, so...
Good. We're opposites, yeah. Well, kudos for Linkin Park to put this out, and it was a nice listening experience, I'll say.
We definitely had a lot to talk about, so...
We did, yeah.
So, if we don't have anything else to say, I'll take us out.
All right. It's been fun.
Yep. All right. Thanks for listening to Beach View. That's been our third of 4 albums, and tune in next time for the last one. Bye!
Bye!